Hello, in this presentation we will record the receipt of a payment within QuickBooks Online. We will have a comprehensive QuickBooks Online course soon, if not available yet. We also have a comprehensive Excel course which complements the QuickBooks courses and a QuickBooks Pro desktop version course you can find at the link below. Here we are on the QuickBooks Online dashboard. We will be continuing with the Get Great Guitars problem. We will be entering a customer receipt payment. This is going to be a payment that we received from the customer. Typically, this will happen in the format of we got an invoice in the past or sent out an invoice for something that happened, in our case, the sale of a guitar. And now we are receiving payment, possibly in the mail, for the invoice that was sent out. We need to record that receipt of the payment. We're going to do that by going to this little icon up top, the plus icon. This will give us a short window of many of the common transactions with the grouping of customers, vendors, and employees, and other. We're going to be in customers over here, and we're going to have the receipt of payment. So it's going to be this item, receive payment, and we will see this screen. So we're going to have receive payment, and we're going to enter the data within here in terms of the payment received, starting with the customer that we are receiving from. Remember to look at these forms and know what we're actually doing with them. When we say it's a received payment, that means that we're getting something, some kind of money, sometimes of cash. Now, we could put that directly into the checking account, or traditionally QuickBooks puts it into this undeposited funds account, but it will increase the cash account in either way. The other side of the transaction then typically will be going to accounts receivable, reducing that account that represents the amount of money owed to us from customers' accounts receivable. So we're going to say that we received the first payment from Anderson Guitars. We can select the drop down here, and we can start typing to autofill it. Anderson. There it is. We're going to select Anderson Guitars. Going to tab through this as we normally do. The date is going to be 01/12/21, and the payment method, we can choose the different types of payment methods. We're going to say that we have a check here, could be cash, could be credit card, and then the reference number, this is going to be optional. We don't have to have a reference number. I'm going to put 8755 for the reference number. Now the deposit, it's going to our checking account here, and what you want to be careful with the deposits. One, because we need to do the bank reconciliations at the end of the month, and we want to deposit in the same way that they're going to appear on the bank reconciliation. And two, as we have the cash right now, it's not really in the checking account. So there's a bit of a time delay if we say it's in the checking account now. We're going to try to do what typically will be done within QuickBooks, which is to group them in this account called uncategorized assets, sometimes called undeposited funds. And that'll be the holding account that we're basically going to use to hold this asset account until we go to the bank and make the deposit, in which case, at which time, we'll take it out of here and then put it into the bank in a deposit. That will allow us to group multiple checks. So for example, if we got 5 checks today and we went to the bank at the end of the day, we can group all those deposits together and see them in one deposit as they would be seen on our bank statement, helping us to then group the bank statement and match it out to what we have in our system, which is really, really important. We want to be able to say, hey, is there a problem here? Did this deposit clear? And it's a lot easier to do that if we have the grouping the same in our system as in the banking system. So we're going to have that be the item here. Then we've got the 2 invoices that are outstanding. If we check on one, we're going to say that this is the one that we received payment for. So these are invoices we made in the past. If we click on them, we'll go to that invoice. But we are receiving payment now in the mail for one of these invoices. If we click on this item, it'll automatically populate the amount. So the amount is up here, matches the invoice. If they paid us less than that amount, then we can put an amount less than that amount, and there will still be amount outstanding due on this invoice. Here we have the full amount paid, and the invoice will be completely paid off after this has been recorded then. So just a recap, once we record this, what's going to happen? We're going to increase not cash, kind of cash, but not the checking account going into the uncategorized asset, which we will then put in the checking account when we deposit it. And then the other side is going to be decreasing the accounts receivable account for, in particular, Anderson Guitars. So we will go ahead and save this item and then see what the impact will be on our reports. So I'm going to close this back out. We're going to close this out up top with the X. We're going to go to the reports, which is going to be on the left-hand side, and go to our main reports. So let's select the reports. And then we are going to look first at the balance sheet. So we'll go into the balance sheet here. We're going to change the date to the dates that we are working on, which will be from January 1st, 2017, no, 21, January 1st, 2021 to 01/31/21, January 31st, 2021. We're then going to run that report. And there we have it. Now, if we scroll through here, the first thing we have is going to be this uncategorized asset. That's where we put this asset at this point until we then categorize it and deposit it into the bank. So if we select that item, we have the uncategorized asset here. We have the amount of the 5,000. If we select that 5,000, then we will go into our payment receipt. So there's going to be the one side of it. If we close this back out, we'll go back to the balance sheet and we're going to scroll back up. We're going to go back to report summary, back to the report summary. And we're going to look for the other side of this transaction, and that's going to be in accounts receivable. Someone owed us money. They no longer owe us money. So we're going to go into this 16,329, and then we'll see this sales receipt or payment here, right there, and the payments for the 5,000. If we click on that, then we see the receive payment here once again.